hometown stories from the heart of it all, and our folks have a lot to tell. We've got next door neighbors with remarkable lives. We're riding on a story carousel. So sit right back as we hear about their lives. Yeah, home is where our story begins. Families, neighbors, and friends, the love never ends. Right here in Miami Springs, right here in Miami, and Virginia Gardens, here in Miami Springs.
Hello, I'm Buzz Fleischman. We're sitting in the living room of the Glenn Curtis Mansion here in Miami Springs, the Curtis Mansion. And these are hometown stories. This is a one-on-one conversation with the residents of Miami Springs and Virginia Gardens. We want to know who our neighbors are, not just their names or where they live. We want to find out their story, and everyone's got a story. And these stories will be shown on Comcast Channel 77, the Miami Springs Facebook page, YouTube, the city's website, miamisprings-fl.gov, and every platform that the city has. We want these stories to get out because we want everyone to know how special we in Miami Springs and Virginia Gardens really are. So when you look at the insert on the end of the month for the River Cities Gazette, you'll find information on how to reach us so you can tell your hometown story as well. So we're going to kick it off. Hume and I, our information officer for Miami Springs, will do the interviews and the conversations actually. And we're going to kick off with our mayor, Billy Bain, here in Miami Springs at the Curtis Mansion. It's historic. Billy, welcome to Hometown Stories.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Our first interview.
Thank you.
I want you to just tell us what your story is. Why do you think Miami Springs is so unique, and when you got here as a family?
Well, my family moved here when I was 2 years old from Sharon, Pennsylvania. I grew up basically in Virginia Gardens until I was 26. And then I married my wife Grace and moved into Miami Springs, whatever year that might have been. And we raised 3 children here. I had a pretty good career in baseball. It was all Dade County. I have 3 brothers that were very close.
Well, tell us a little bit about that baseball career. You said you were all county. You went to
all Dade County, Miami Springs High School. Got a full scholarship at Miami-Dade South to junior college.
What was your position?
I played in high school was second base, college left field. Had a very nice sophomore year. I had scholarship offers to move on, and with Grace and the things that were going on, my father opened up his business, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go into business with my father, work for him, and because frankly, when you have a baseball career, maybe 5-10 years, you're out of it anyway. And so I figured my future would be with my father and my family. And we all worked together, all 4 brothers, even after Dad's passed.
So you moved here from Pennsylvania at 2 years old,
yeah.
And you settled right here in Miami Springs?
Right, in Virginia Gardens first.
Virginia first.
Yeah, and it was a very positive way to grow up because we had a very strong rivalry between Miami Springs and Virginia Gardens. And Miami Springs was the big brother, and we were looked as the smaller situation. But because of that, I learned a lot of things on how you can pursue yourself by not necessarily winning every game but to learn how to fight and learn how to fight back to become the best at what you do.
So you got here and you became our mayor, was it back in 2003? Okay. And what caused you to want to go into public service? Now you had not done anything in the public area at all before this. And running to be the mayor, that's a big step. How did you reach that decision?
Well, I did serve on the recreational board, and when I served there for 3 months, there was a big issue, and the council chamber was full. When I decided to run was the golf course. My father had semi-retired and went up to Pennsylvania. He would come back, and he goes, "What are you doing?" He says, "We bought the course to improve it." And he says, I don't know, what are they doing? And remember, if my father was alive when I ran for mayor, I would have never been mayor. He wouldn't let me. But, so one day I went into the golf course, and just for the heck of it, I said, I'm going to run for mayor. And the next day, there were about 8 or 9 people that sitting there said, we're going to help you run for mayor. I tried to justify my decisions in the mayorship by the majority, not the minority of the majority of the people.
Well, that's cool. Tell me why you think Miami Springs is such a special place here in South Florida.
Well, by accident, we're gated by accident. We have the Miami River on the north. You have the Canal of Ludlam on the west. When the new flyover came over from Lejeune, that gave the east side, and then you have 36th Street. And 36th Street, when I was mayor, we put the barricades to have all this for the thoroughfares to come through. So that's one thing. Also, you're centralized. From Miami Springs, you can go north, south, east, west. All your major roadways, you can go wherever you want. And then come home and be in your little small town.
And that's what it's like. It's like a small town around the big city. And our slogan, our at the heart of it all.
Yes.
And we are close to everything
Yes.
here. It's a big help.
It is.
Also learned that when kids grow up here and they move away, like to go to school or work, and when they get married or some other reason they need to come back to Miami Springs as another generation to live here because they know how special it is in our hometown as well.
That's true, because one of Holly's friends moved to Carolina, and they're back already. 2 years, they're back.
Well, that's what these hometown stories are all about, so we can actually find out who our neighbors are and what's special about their lives as well. Tell us about one of the best days you've ever had here as mayor in Miami Springs. What happened here that you were able to do for the city, or that the city was so good to you that you had such a great day?
It's hard to say that. It's hard to say that because to say what I think the best accomplishment, but the best day, it's hard to say that because when you're in council chambers, there's that give and take, and sometimes you think you've done a real good job and you go home and you walk away and it bothers you till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning because I think I did the right thing, but you have the people that are saying the negative part of it you didn't, and you know, people think you're Teflon and you don't go home, and it's not. But I think the 2 most important things are, one is the fact that I was able to make a presentation to the water and sewer with Commissioner Sosa. You want to know something about me? That's the worst, is being told I took money for a decision. I'm kind of sensitive. And I do have, sometimes in council, I have a bad temper that I hold. Because, you know, I kind of used some bad words one time in one of my speeches, but I'm getting better at that too.
Hey, we're only human.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing, yeah.
Well, so now it's you and Grace, are the boys still at home?
No, they're all Nick's in Carolina. John works with me, and Holly has her dance studio. Very successful. I mean, let's face it, I get all my votes from Grace's people. Holly gets me 900. John gets me about 450. And then I might get 100 votes from him. When I ran, that's how I justified it, you know. Because Holly, she's got that something too. And if John ever got out in the world, he has that something too. Nick's more reserved.
Billy, it's so nice to have a hometown conversation with you. I think we all know a little bit more about who Billy Bain is, who our mayor is, but who the person Billy Bain is. And we appreciate that. And thanks for coming on Hometown Stories as our first guest. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Keep doing a good job.
Families, neighbors, and friends, the love never ends right here in Miami Springs. Right here in Miami and Virginia Gardens, here in Miami Springs.